Alright, today we're going to clean the Carby CRF 50 2016. We need some Carby cleaner, pointy nose pliers, big flat blade, little flat blade, big Phillips, little Phillips, a 10mm socket, 8mm socket, toothbrush and some clean rags. Rightio, so first of all, you got these little plastic screws in the front here and they just pop up. Use the big Phillips head screwdriver, just pop the middle up, pull him out. You got big Phillips heads here that you just take out with your big screwdriver, and two 10mm sockets, 10mm bolts in there. And this whole thing just comes straight off. Now you can get to everything. Alright, so oh, that's a bit tight, so we're going to need a 10mm spanner. Make sure you turn your fuel off. This one's a bit fiddly, but once you get him out, that's not too bad. It's got a little strap in there. Alright, you can just hold the weight of the air filter box and you can get the rest of him pretty easy. He comes out, little air strap off of there, put him down. Alright, well, we can pretty much use our pliers here. We can leave that drain on. This one just pulls off. Use our pliers to get this one off. Don't lose that little clip. Alright, let's go around this other side here. Undo those clips, take him off. Again, don't lose that clip. Another little one on this. Alright. Now you can just do these two 8mm screws. Just have your rag ready in case you get some fuel. It comes off and you just undo this throttle thing. And then it comes out like that. And you can just pull the whole thing out. Alright. So now we got that off. Yeah, probably a little bit of fuel coming out of that. Alrighty. So to get the air filter off, just undo this screw here. You just loosen him off and it spreads itself for you. Back him off a little bit and that just slides off. Alright, then for this, alright, you got 2 screws on the bottom. Alright, so here we go. So the choke runs that butterfly in there. It opens and closes, so that's choke off, choke on. Alright, in here. So, 1 screw in here. You don't have to take him all the way out, you just loosen him off enough to get this little bar out from underneath. Like so. And just watch, because there's a little, that's very loose with a little springy thing in there, so that just slides in and out. If you have a look underneath here, it just sits in this little slot. See? And that's got a little spring on it, so you just want to make sure that has spring in it. Put that there and we'll just keep that to the side. Alright, and here we go. So that's your seal, and that's your main jet. So I'm just going to clean everything out. So we've got our Carby cleaner here. You just want to spray in, and if you have a look inside there when I spray, you can see it sprays through that jet. So that's good, that means it's not clogged. In here also, you can take this little jet out just to help get in and clean it a little bit better. Opens it up just that little bit more, so then when you spray, you'll see, it's a big spray, straight out the bottom. So yeah, so we know that's clear. So we'll just put that back in. Now, this jet here is the one where 99% of the problems are. So, one way to have a look here, so this little hole here, it goes to that one. So if you spray in there, see that little pop out? But one thing I've learnt is I don't think that means it's clear, because that's how I did it last time. So I've cut a little bit of wire brush off I'm just going to give it a little clean up before I put it on there. I'm just going to see if I can get that in there to try and just give it a little clean out. Right. Well, this is your air fuel mixture. So and a half. It's always 1.5 off. It's 1.5 to 1 3/4. So I'm just going to take this out because I think that can restrict that little jet. So I'll see how we go with this. Okay. So now let's see the goo that came out of that. I think that may have been my problem. So see how you can see just spraying out when you get come off of it. So this little hole here, you need that little mist. So, well, that's a good sign, but I'd still like to just try and get can't really get that in. It's still too thick. So it's clearly coming out at the top. So, and then when you spray through here, it's coming out this hole well, and it's coming out that hole well. So maybe so there, now you can spray it through your overflow thing, and that comes straight through here. You see it's all come through. And this one, straight down to that there. Spray both ways. Yep. Alright. And with this, you can just spraying that, spraying that. That this overflow is working properly, which is just this one here, and that should dribble out of this hose, which it is. So you don't want that blocked up, because otherwise the fuel will back up in your carburetor. I'm just gonna let that dry for a minute. The other thing to check is your fuel tank breather. So I'm just going to blow some compressed air and it's the same with all of this. If you just blow some air through everything, be careful not to. When we put this back in, we measured it when we took it out, so we put it all the way back in. And then we turn it back. Half, 1, 2. So leave it like that. Perfect. Alright. So now, we just put our seal back in here. Alright, so now we've got to put this assembly back in. As long as you don't drop it, it's no problem. But even if you do, it's no big deal, so it can't fall out if you lean it back this way, so you just sort of got to try and guide him in all of the directions at the same time and get him underneath the screw. You can even just make sure it all should just lift in there. There we go. I'll just sit down where it normally goes and do your screw back up to where it is. Just sort of holding it. So a little bounce. Alright. So, next step. Make sure this is all in its groove. Like so. Because if it's not, it won't seal and you'll be back exactly where you were to start with. Alright, so you don't do that screw up because you still have to line this up. So first of all, put your throttle back in and you'll see on one side, you can see just that little grey or yellowy sort of slot, and then down the bottom in there there's a little pin which is your throttle. So the little pin obviously lines up with the groove at the bottom, so when you put this in, just going to make sure it all lines up. Just do him up firm, slide all of this in. A little bit of a just line him up with your bolts. That one, just finger tight for the second, and that one. So then what do we got here? Alright. So this black bit has to go in front of that, like so. And then it has to go onto this, like so. And then, as well as that, you have to get the earth back on. So